obstacles, throw out what was taught to you. Learn what you were not in school, things I follow, not the rules. I'm fearless, I ain't afraid of nothing. I'm fearless, always going after something. I'm fearless, you can tell by what I'm bustin'. I'm fearless, you don't know my kind of hustler. See, I live life just like I'm swimming with sharks. You can tell by the way that I'm spitting these bars. It ends up being that you eat what you are. So step up any lyricist, I'll tear you apart. I'm fearless, I ain't afraid of nothing. I'm fearless, always going after something. I'm fearless, you can tell by what I'm bustin'. I'm fearless, you don't know my kind of hustle. I don't never slow down, I don't never hold back, I don't never fall down, always balanced on track. See, a fact is a fact, and I back what I back. You can tell by the things I attack when I rap.
I don't never slow down, I don't never hold back, I don't never fall down, always balanced on track. I'm fearless, I'm fearless.
You can tell by the things I attack when I rap.
I don't never slow down, I don't never hold back, I don't never fall down, always balanced on track. I'm fearless, I'm fearless.
You can tell by the things I attack when I rap. I'm fearless, I ain't afraid of nothing. I'm fearless, always going after something. I'm fearless, you can tell by what I'm bustin'. I'm fearless, you don't know my kind of hustling.
Fearless.
Yeah, that was Fearless by Pierre, right here on Ethic Radio. So, so I got my special guest here, as a matter of fact. His name is Pierre, again, and he is a videographer, and he's a comedian and a musician. Man, I would like to introduce you listeners out there, Pierre in the house.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
So what's poppin' with you, man? How's your day been?
Not too bad, man. You know, working and, getting ready for this interview, promoting and all that. So,
yeah.
You know, just doing the damn thing like always.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, so, man, look, tell the listeners out there, man, who you are. We know that you Pierre, the Italian rapper, in the house.
True.
And tell us your story, man, about how you got started with the music, and break it down to us with all the other great things that you got going on as well with your talents.
Yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate you having me, and definitely we'll start with the music, and then I'll expand out into my own little universe that I have of things that I do. So I was born in Long Beach, California. Definitely heavily influenced by hip hop when I was younger. You know, the Snoop Dogg's, the Dr. Dre's, a lot of, the cats out of that area definitely influenced me and inspired me growing up here in hip hop almost my whole life, being in those, in that neighborhood, in those areas.
That's what's up.
So it always spoke to me because, I think more than anyone else, I grew up in that environment. I saw the gangbanging, I saw the drug dealing, I saw all that stuff in my life. So I understood what they were speaking about because I grew up around it. At the same time, I could only connect on some level because I never necessarily did that stuff. But
right.
A lot of my friends, a lot of people I knew definitely were involved in that. So I understood the environment very well.
Right.
But hip-hop, yeah, definitely spoke to me. Like I felt the passion behind the lyrics and what they were saying and what they were rapping about. And it just, I don't know, for some reason that out of all the genres that I grew up listening to, hip-hop just always had a special place for me. I'd say in about junior highs when I actually started writing and like penning lyrics just for fun myself. And it's funny because growing up around the gangster stuff, that's all I kind of wrote.
Yeah.
But I didn't really share it with many people because, like I said, I didn't do that kind of stuff. So I didn't really want to promote that because that's, I like keeping it real. I don't want to be a fake person. So
right.
I definitely had to represent myself correctly. So I kind of stayed quiet, but people came across some of my lyrics sometimes at school or whatever in books. And were like, oh, dude, like, that's sick. Oh, you can rap. That's cool, whatever. And I was kind of shy back in the days. I didn't really get into it too much. But I'd say what really popped it off was I had to do a poetry assignment in an English class in high school.
Right.
And I rhymed everything. And it turned out being more like a rap than a poem. And my teacher was so impressed. She was like, okay, look, this wasn't really the assignment, but it was so clever, and the wording was so clever that she like gave me the full credit and just like kind of had me do the assignment again. But she was just so impressed at how I put words together. So it almost was a natural thing for me to like, you know, rhyme and put words together in that type of way that was really hip hop. So I mean, they call it street poetry, and I understand why, definitely, as well.
Right.
So that definitely started my path on hip hop. But like I said, without having a voice of like myself and the person I was, it was hard to want to really become an artist when, you know, all I heard was like the gangster stuff, and I wasn't really introduced to a lot of different type of music.
All kind of genres of music. What kind of music was you interested? You know, what was you introduced to?
Oh well, like I said, I heard more of the West Coast, like gangster rap is what I was raised with. So I mean, I grew up with oldies. You know, that's like where I come from. Like my mom listened to K-Earth all the time. So like growing up with that environment, I definitely have a love for the classic music. I love the Smokey Robinsons, the Marvin Gayes. You know,
all that good Motown stuff.
Yeah, you know, I grew up with that, and that's definitely near and dear to my heart. I'd say Michael Jackson as well was one of my probably biggest influences in wanting to be an entertainer. You know, just the kind of entertainer he was.
Rest in peace to Michael Jackson.
Oh, yes, definitely.
You know, his anniversary of his death is coming up on June 25th.
Exactly.
Man, years later, I remember that time when I was at work and I found out that Michael Jackson had passed away.
Yeah.
That was crazy, man, at that time. And
yeah.
But yeah, man, you know, I'm going to do a Michael Jackson special on Ethic Radio. We're gonna spin all his old joints, all his music from Motown to as he became an adult, and some great music. I played a couple of Michael Jackson songs on here on Ethic Radio, you know.
Yeah, definitely, of course.
So tell the listeners, man, how did you connected with Beat Grade, David Mnemonic?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, actually, me and David Mnemonic were both looking at this company that was starting up called Make Some Noise, and they were like gonna essentially have people like it was literally a job of us like going into this new app where like people would give you a little bit of info, and you'd write a little like 30-second like almost jingle for like an individual.
Right.
And then like, you know, they had lots of different ideas for what it was going to be, but I met David there. I ended up not taking the job because pay wasn't what I needed to survive. So I was just like, yeah, you know, right now this ain't, it wasn't a good position for me.
And plus you got bills to pay, and you got a household to maintain, and at the same time you're trying to build a substantial stability for yourself.
Yes, exactly.
So I understand where you're coming from on that note, because we all have bills to pay.
Yeah.
You know, and everything comes with a price, and that's something that people need to understand, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So so me and David started talking. You know, he was promoting Beat Grade, the beginnings of it, with that company, with all the other artists that were there, because, you know, it's pretty much all a rap thing, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they had some singers in there too, but mostly rap. So me and him connected. We just kind of vibed off each other, because we ran with a circle of the same people, because, you know, with hip-hop, I spent a lot of time at Project Blowed back in the day, battling, you know, a lot of the cats.
Right over there at the Chaos Network in the Leimert Park?
Exactly, yeah.
Is that right?
Exactly, in the Leimert Park, that area. Yeah,
that's a coincidence, because I used to go over there. I remember in 2011, I was over there when Project Blow was doing their thing over there at the Chaos Network, run by founder Ben Caldwell. Shout out to Ben Caldwell as well.
Yeah.
You know, hope he listening on the air. Yeah. And he was in the Black History Story documentary film that I have put together. So, yeah, and that's out on Amazon at ethicrecordfilms.com. But yeah, man. So what other things you got going on, man? I know you're doing comedy, plus you're doing a series called Paranormal Detectives. Am I correct?
That's right. Yeah, I do quite a few things. Let's see. You said the comedy. I do stand-up comedy. I've kind of taken a break to work more on music at the moment, so I haven't done a lot of comedy lately. But yeah, I was a regular at the Bray Improv. I do stand-up. I do a lot of impressions as well. Voices, celebrities, presidents, cartoons.
Hey, man, try to do an impression, man. Do a celebrity impression.
Well, one of my favorites is Christopher Walken, because, you know, he's a good guy. It's good stuff.
Can you do Bill Clinton?
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Yeah, of course, Bill Clinton is a classic.
Man, man, hey, do a Bill Clinton, do one, man. Do a Bill Clinton impression, man. Come on, do another one for me.
Well, that depends on what your definition of do is.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah, so yeah, I do a lot of that stuff too. I've kind of incorporated some of that in my raps as well. So I'm trying to definitely build that a little more, just to have a little variety. And then you mentioned Italian rap. I rap in Italian. But yeah, I also do a web series called The Real Paranormal Detectives. I actually run a nonprofit organization. I investigate the paranormal. That includes ghosts, UFOs, cryptozoologies like Bigfoot and weird creatures. And then we even did government conspiracy type stuff where, they were doing weird mind control tests and stuff on people. And we got contacted to investigate that kind of stuff.
You know what that remind me of? That remind me of Jesse Ventura doing conspiracy theory.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Man, yeah, it's right in my alley, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Speak on it, man. Continue on, man. Break it down, man. Break it down to us right here.
Yeah, more so on the paranormal. I actually have my PhD in parapsychology. So, yeah, I'm fully accredited. I lecture at Chapman University on the paranormal and all over the state on that stuff as well. So I'm definitely a diverse individual. But yeah, it's interesting with the paranormal. I'll break it down as we started doing our web series. We got tired of Hollywood. I've been probably in contracts for 5 major deals with TV networks, and I don't know if this is a truth bomb I'm going to drop on everybody right now, but reality TV is not reality. It's all fake. It's all scripted. It's all acting. It's all development of characters.
Yeah,
and
I kind of figured that.
I was tired of that, and we bounced out. We were tired 'cause we got, I wouldn't say necessarily screwed over, but we definitely got the shaft from a few production companies that we were working with, and we were tired of it. So, I just put my foot down and said, let's do it ourselves. So we just put some money together. We did an episode. We got, HD cameras, bought more equipment, and started doing our own web series. We got a sponsor after our first episode.
That's what's
so that
up.
helped us get more gear. And, a lot of people like it because they know it's real and genuine. Plus, our idea is we bring the public along with us to prove that we're legit. So if you think we're fake, you can come with us on an episode to a haunted location or looking for a UFO or whatever it is.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna keep it real with you on some real stuff right here, bruh.
Yeah.
I want to go on an episode where I actually witness some paranormal situations. I've always wanted to do movies that relate to paranormal and have fun with it at the same time, but experience some serious stuff here too.
Yeah, we can bring you on and make you a witness. That's what we do. So that's not a problem. We'll definitely be in touch and bring you on an episode next time we shoot.
Oh yeah, man, that'd be an honor to do that, man. I love to, man, for real, just to experience it because, man, and I'd be like, that's just make believe. But hey, you won't know unless you experience it yourself, pretty much,
Oh yeah, that's how I look at the paranormal. I'm very I'm an open-minded person that has respect for people's beliefs because a lot of stuff is based on what you experience. You know what I mean? And it's kind of a vulgar comparison, but it's a true comparison.
Right.
Like you can hear what sex is like from everybody, but unless you experience it yourself, you're never going to understand what it actually is. And that's what the paranormal is. Like until you experience it without a shadow of a doubt, something that you can't dismiss or explain away.
Right.
You're never going to understand what it's like. And like I said, I respect people's points of view as well. So I'm not the type of person that's trying to make people believe in this stuff.
Real talk.
But I have a pursuit and a passion for it that I like exploring and looking for this stuff. So.
Right. That's what's up.
So yeah,
man.
it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting. Very. So, what networks have you merged with doing these paranormal detective content?
You mean as far as we've done a few things. I've consulted for the TV show on Sci-Fi called Paranormal Witness. So I was a professional paranormal consultant for the show to give them terminology and information in relation to the paranormal, what it actually is.
Right.
So I worked with them a little bit on that. Me and my team have been featured on Haunted History. We were on the premiere episode, which had to do with the Manson murders. So we talked about that. I got to go to every location almost.
So how did that
Manson
came about with the whole Manson murders? I mean, how did you get on in that production. Well, what was your experience on that?
Yeah, the first thing was the main contact point, which my nonprofit organization is called the Southern California Paranormal Detectives. Apparently, me creating that name was clever because we pop up first on internet search engines when people look for Southern California paranormal type stuff.
Wow.
So I'm constantly contacted by production companies and TV networks for different projects. That one just happened to contact me at one point, and they were interested in us maybe going out to investigate a place called Spawn Ranch.
Okay.
Which is up in like kind of close to the Northridge area. It's one of the areas that Charles Manson stayed at for a while.
Oh wow. Was that somewhere like in Death Valley?
No. That's a different part. I forget the name of the camp that they called that he was out there in Death Valley. We almost went out there. Unfortunately, my work schedule didn't work with the network, but I got to go to every other location with the network.
Man, I was told that house is still over there too, and it's vacant.
Yeah, it is. The little campsite and buildings are still, there's parts of it that are left out there in Death Valley as well.
Wow.
But yeah, we did Spawn Ranch, which, like I said, isn't far. It's like close to Northridge in that area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's up in the mountains. But yeah, we went out there, we investigated, we got a few pieces of evidence they used on the episode, and I was the main interviewee for my team. They also talked to my brother, who's part of my team, and then my tech guy, who's related to me through my wife. So,
right.
Yeah, so they interviewed us, and we talked about what we experienced on Spawn Ranch, and about Charles Manson and the guy he killed on Spawn Ranch, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've been following those Manson stories, documentaries, the movies, like Helter Skelter and all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Just to be like, what the hell was they thinking when they was doing what they was doing? But, you know, Charles Manson was more of a manipulator.
Oh, yeah, very good manipulator.
Portrayed himself as if he was Jesus Christ. And
exactly.
And it was crazy because, like, you know, all these people that were involved, some of them are still in prison right now to this day and being denied for parole.
Yes.
So,
exactly.
Wow. That's some crazy stuff, man. But that's deep right there, you know? Yeah,
no, it's I love it. I'm a history buff too, so that kind of ties in with the paranormal, because there's a lot of history involved with hauntings and things like that, and even with other stuff, whether it comes to government conspiracies or Bigfoot or anything else.
Right.
There's a lot of history involved, so it was very cool to be part of that because of the history involved, and we got to actually go to the locations. So for me, it was just a very all-inclusive experience to learn about specifically Charles Manson and the sites he was at. So
yeah. I mean, for him to build a career and stuff like that, I mean, that's just, like I said, that is like, he was a man that wore a lot of hats, but he just had demons, you know, in him.
Definitely a lot of personal demons and other issues that he had to make him the way he was, for sure. But even with that, the kind of letdown, I mean, it's helped me in some ways because it was good exposure being on that TV show.
Yeah.
But on another level, when it first came out, it took them about almost 2 years to release the episode, just because, I don't know, network things, but they ended up getting it out.
Yeah.
The kind of letdown was they heavily edited me and my team, because I can speak very professionally, you know, when I need to about, you know, certain subjects.
Right.
So it was interesting to see the episode and see that they heavily edited so much of what I said. They even changed what I said at some points. Wow. And a lot of my friends who saw it were asking me, hey, why did they cut to like so many pictures while you were talking? And I was like, well, they edited me so much that if you showed me, you'd be able to see the editing. So that's why they kept cutting to different pictures of Manson and things like that. And I mean, it is what it is. That's Hollywood. I think it was a good experience, a learning experience for me to fully be on a TV show and learn how those things really work.
Like how it works behind the scenes. Yeah. The history. Yeah. Now, what's up with the History Channel?
No, I was going to say it because it's History Channel. My impression would be that it would be more of a legitimate show and maybe focus more on the history and the haunting, and it became a reenactment of the murders. Like, they kept just showing like bloody scenes of body parts being chopped up and stuff like that.
Wow.
And it detracted from the evidence we got and the actual history of it, and then the haunting too. So it was like, It felt like it could have been done a little better of how I think some of the people involved wanted to see it.
Yes.
But like I said, it was good exposure because now that's on my resume. And when I get contacted by production companies, they're like, oh, you worked on this show. So, that kind of helps boost my credibility to have had something like that.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. That's what I'm talking about. At least you had developed the experience of how reality shows are being done these days. Like you
and
say,
even a normal show like that where they interview people that they edit for what sounds good and what looks good for entertainment purposes. So
yeah, and I kind of figured that because they do a lot of reenactments and you be like, wow, did this actually really happen? Because
exactly
the way they structured it as if it was make-believe, and anything on TV is pretty much make-believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. I think it's a sad thing, really, because I think it detaches us from reality even more when you think that it's reality. Because I think a lot of people still actually believe that it's reality. That's the problem. It'd be okay if society understood that these things are all fabricated. I'm sorry, but it all is, or it's made to look a certain way. But even if there is truth in it, they have to exaggerate the truth. So
yeah. And you know what's so crazy though? You know what movie you need to see that was made in 1976?
Yeah.
The Network.
Yes, actually, you know what? When people ask me what my favorite movie of all time is, I name that movie. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah,
I was watching that 2 days ago.
Yeah, that movie actually predicted reality TV.
Right.
But it spoke so truthfully about the government, about politics, about TV, about entertainment, about everything. And it's just, when I saw it when I was in college, I was like, I love this movie. So it's definitely one of my top films of all time.
Right. Man, it was a great movie, man. And because how I found out about the Network was through this documentary film I was watching called The Zeitgeist.
Oh, yes, of course.
And that's how I found out about the Network.
Yes.
And I was very intrigued when I saw that clip they put in the documentary movie. And I was like, you know what, I need to see this movie. So I saw it from the beginning.
Yeah.
And that movie's hard to find, but I found it.
yeah. I had to watch that movie in college when I was studying journalism.
Yeah.
I was taking a journalism course, and we had to look at different films and stuff, and that was one of them because, and I think it was very good the professor made that a requirement because it was, like I said, one of my favorite movies now. So.
Right.
So it definitely is eye-opening. Everybody go check it out. 1976. The movie's called The Network.
The Network.
Incredible movie. It'll tell you a lot about not only Hollywood and reality TV and the entertainment industry, but
journalism,
politics and everything
politics, everything.
Yes.
Everything that's real or stuff that they don't want you to hear, or a lot of madness that's going on. I remember I used one of those clips in a song we did called Fearful, and one of these days I have to play it on Ethic Radio. So man, that's just some crazy business right there. The way our society operates, and here it's still operating in that same format because it's being controlled to where they only want the audience and the reviewers to see it from another angle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's indicative of our society and the people in control to keep people, complacent and enjoying things to be entertained with, and not actually analytically and critically thinking about what's going on in our society. Exactly what it is. So. Yeah,
I mean, it's a crazy situation. And
very, very much so.
It's more just an illusion that just caused confusions to our society. That's all.
Oh yeah, exactly. It really disconnects us from one another because when you're a truth speaker, someone like me, and we talked about music, I definitely am very socially conscious with the way that I rap.
Yeah.
Going back to music, years I didn't want to rap because I didn't know there was a place for me to rap because, like I said, I grew up around the gangster mentality and that lifestyle, but I didn't really live that. And even the people I knew in that environment, encouraged me not to live that way, because they're like, dude, don't mess up your life like we did. Like, you know, I had a friend that inspired me the most. He got locked up in prison, and before he did, I went to visit him before he got locked up. We were talking, and he's like, dude, you got talent. You know, he heard me rap, he heard me do voices, he saw me do comedy, he knew everything that I did. And he's like, dude, don't mess up your life like I did. Like, you got talent, like, keep going. And that meant so much to me. Like, that's one of the things that he said that someone never said to me that stuck with me throughout my life, where
Right.
I think is why I'm so, you know, persistent with what I pursue, is because of what he said to me. You know, to watch a man look me in the eyes and know that he's losing his freedom in his life somewhat was very powerful and profound, to go,
Right.
yeah, I did not mess up my life. But back to the point I was trying to make about music, after a while, when I met someone in college, he introduced me to Immortal Technique. He's like, oh, you ever heard this underground rap stuff? And I'm like, nah, man. Like, I grew up around Snoop and Dre and, you know, the West Coast stuff. Like, that's all I know.
Right.
He's like, well, check this out. Check out Immortal Technique. And literally with the first track, I knew that's where my place was. I was like, yes, like, that's the kind of music I want to rap about, the issues we have. Because, you know, the only reason we have the drug dealers and the gang members and all this stuff is because we live in a corrupt society that keeps these minorities in those positions and keep going back to those positions, because they make the minority communities believe that they have no other options.
Right,
and
right.
they've brought them most of the drugs. And me and my friend were talking about the other night that, you know, you have to be like a chemist and a scientist to come up with producing things like, you know, crack and cocaine and all this kind of stuff. And like, you're calling these minorities stupid most of the time. So just based on that fact,
Yeah.
you know, they probably didn't create these drugs. You know that somebody brought it into them and helped them produce it in whatever, in their backyard or their basement or wherever they're producing this stuff.
Right.
And destroy their own communities with these drugs. So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I know and the kind of stuff that I rap about too in a lot of my music, because I believe it's important. Now, a lot of people don't like it necessarily. They'd rather be partying, drinking, and listen to the club stuff and whatever, you know.
Right.
What I call ignorance music.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
ignorance is bliss. That's the mantra of most of our society.
Pretty much,
But,
man. You got a point there.
Yeah, but
got
to
a
me,
point.
truth is important. To me,
Right.
knowing what's going on is important. Granted, like, it doesn't get you a lot of accolades, but I think I found comfort in myself now that I'm down and grounded with what I know reality actually is compared to what they're telling me it is.
Pretty
So
much, yeah.
I think that's very important.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree with you, man. Well, look, we're about to go on a commercial break right quick.
Very good.
And, man, this is some good stuff right here, bruh. We gonna finish this conversation right after this commercial break. So, to all you listeners out here that's listening to Ethic Radio, kick back, stay tuned. We'll be right back, and don't go nowhere. Ethic Record Films presents.
History as far as, you know, if we having a black president, I think Obama is the second black president that we had in American history.
When it comes to African American history, it is so codified and so covered that I've just read some of those, and they've named about, like, there were like 5 different folks that they claim were before it was really George Washington. And then in between that we've had several people of African heritage.
It's a lot of stuff that our people have done and that's been excluded up out of the history books, because they don't want us to know anything about us, what our people have.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights activist, and during his days of studying, Gandhi and applying his education towards Morehouse, which is a college for black men.
The importance of Dr. King's legacy to me is it's a story of faith, humility, and strength, to go through that struggle and still be able to.
Order Black History Story now and today at www.ethicrecordfilms.com. Again, order Black History Story documentary movie, The Past and the Present, right now at ethicrecordfilms.com. To all you listeners all over the world, tune in to Ethic Radio every Fridays at 2 p.m. You can also tune in to Ethic Radio After Dark every Fridays at 11 p.m. and weekdays at 11 p.m.
The place. Keep on hoping for better and just don't see it. Yeah, yo, another deep one. Take it anymore, it's like living in a war. I keep on fighting, but I'm not sure what it's for. The death and destruction, pollution and the poor. Humankind just not evolving anymore. We stuck in the past and we keep going back. Can see where it's bad, but we choose the same path. Always being had, but we're never getting mad. There's few that understand, even fewer with the facts. The odds seem stacked, but the system has cracks. We all gotta act on the government corruption, police brutality, the lack of injunctions. Is how it all functions. There's no compunction for all the dirty deeds. They keep us on our knees for the lies we believe. I've seen people bleed for the power and the greed. They live by no creed, laughing to the bank while there's others in need. Cause it happens every day. All I see is suffering and all I see is pain. People working strain, but there's very little gain. Man, this shit's insane. How do I explain? It's just a big game and we're all getting played. Our problems still remain, but we just place the blame. I sit there and complain, expecting things to change. Our leaders just feign for attention and to fame, never coming through on the things that they claim. Same old story, but a different title chapter. Getting treated poorly by our rich entitled masters, placing categories by these racist greedy bastards. See, they're all corrupt and their systems are disaster. All this propaganda by the major broadcasters got me feeling jaded, so depression hits faster. Got a lot of questions, but I never get an answer. Feels like it's spreading, man, it's just as bad as cancer. Feels like it's getting worse. I still remember when I had opened my eyes and realized everyone was telling me lies. The government, religion, my family, why? They all wanted one thing, control of my life. I don't think that one thing they told me was right, and each hand they reached out was holding a knife. The next move for them was to shove it inside. I'm hurt, but the blades never severed my spine. I work every day and I bleed and I cry. I fight through the pain, still believe I could fly. The knowledge I've gained gives me reason to try. The fact I can feel lets me know I'm alive, and what you can hear lets you know I survived. I wipe off the tears and continue to strive. Control starts with fear, I will never comply, and keep on caring till the day that I die.
Yeah, that was Each Day I Cry by Pierre, right here on Ethic Radio. Man, that's a beautiful song right there. So, Mr. Pierre, tell us your experience with putting that song together, man, Each Day.
Yeah. So that one I had one of my buddies produce. I was sitting on that beat for a while. Actually, I hadn't written in a while. You know, we talked about everything I do, and for a while I was doing comedy, so I didn't do a lot of music during that time because I was really focusing on writing jokes and being ready for my shows and everything.
Yeah.
So eventually, finally, I was able to write again. I wanted to be ready because I actually, through David Pneumonic and Beat Grade, I connected with Hen G and the rapper Ice-T. Hen G is DJ Evil E's brother.
Okay.
So I met them. They liked me a lot. I did videography for the Art of Rap Festival. I've been shooting behind the scenes for them as well. They really like my videography and how professional I am when I'm working with a lot of big celebrities. So I started working with them. I rap in Italian as well. We talked about that earlier a little bit. They really want to push that. So my next move right now musically is I'm going to be working on a lot of just purely Italian rap songs. But to be ready, I wanted to make sure my pen game was strong. So I was like, I need to get back into writing. I'm going to write at least a couple of tracks. I ended up writing 4 or 5 tracks, working on each day. That was one of the first ones just because that beat really spoke to me. And I go to a deep place in some songs, and that was one I went to a deep place. I pulled from life. I pulled from everything I was feeling, from like my distrust of the government and authority and police to my problems with my family. Like, I don't talk to my family. Like, that's just we had a falling out. I'm cool with my younger brother. That's the closest person.
Hey, you know something? I feel your pain on that. I can relate to you on that note. That's something we'll talk about some other time. Off the air, but I totally understand how you feel on that note right there, man. To where you only affiliated with the younger sibling instead of being affiliated with the other siblings or the other individuals that brought you into this world. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. And that's the third verse really came from that, you know, when I was saying like everybody who lied and they all had, you know, that knife ready to put in my back, and it felt like it's my way of expressing how I feel betrayed by a lot of people in my life, coming from
by your own flesh and blood.
Family, exactly, family, education, religion,
friends,
everything in my life that told me things were a certain way, even education, and it was all maybe not a lie directly, but in some sense it was a lie, because, you know, like when parents say, I want you to have a better life than I did, but they do nothing. That's just lip service. They do nothing to provide that for you. Like, they make you go to the same schools they went to. They tell you the same thing everyone else tells you. Go to college, do this, do that, do the other thing. You do all that, and there's no reward for it because you weren't born into the right class. You don't know the right people, and a lot of that, those are the things that matter nowadays, and nobody tells you that when you're in school. You find out, you get out of college, you have a degree, and you're like, all right, I'm going to go make something of myself. And you're like, oh, wait, there's this little handful of people that control the whole damn world, and they ain't going to let you in unless they see that they're going to make a profit off you.
Right.
Because if they don't, you're not valuable to them. Yeah. And it's like, because someone like me, like, I feel like, and I hate having an ego or seeming like I have an ego, because I don't. I try to be very humble as I can be as a man. And, you know, like, I believe I have talent. I believe I have value and something to offer.
Right.
But it's like how can I have been working so hard? You know, I'm about to be 32 this summer. How could I work so hard, have degrees, and hustle and be so persistent with what my dreams and my goals are, and not make it yet? You know, you feel like a little discouraged with life when that stuff happens, and you look back at your life and you go, what did my family do? What did education teach me? What did these other systems teach me? And it was not anything that ended up being actually valuable to life. I had to learn that. It took me let's see, how long did college take me? Let's say you're like roughly looking at 20-something years of college, I mean, of education. It's going to take you maybe another half of that to actually figure out that none of that matters, because there's other things that come into play that nobody told you about. So you're like, oh, now that I have all this, I have to learn all over again, because there's all this other stuff that's around what I already learned. So
I totally know. I totally understand, man. I know the feeling, bruh. I 110% can relate to you on that note. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I would like to believe that many people could in the society we live in.
Yeah.
I would like to believe that most people probably feel that way because we're all taught a certain way, and then you're like, wait a minute, things don't even work like that.
Right, right. And you try to be a fair person and work with people in a fair manner,
Exactly.
but it's like they can't be fair with you, and you trying to be fair with them.
Exactly. Yeah, we live in a world of snakes. Well, the
Right.
next person,
Yeah.
if he sees you're coming up, he would more than likely step on you to get him up.
Trust me,
than
bro.
say, let's work together and move up. You know?
Trust me, bro. I totally could relate to you on that note.
Yeah.
I mean, and some of us, and it always happens to the best of us. And all we
Yeah.
can do as individuals is just back away from it and kill with silence and don't even pay attention to it. Okay, they did what they did, and from your experience of what you've been through by being burned
Yes.
by so many people, like friends and family or people you grew up with, they start acting shady towards you because, you know, you a dude that's well connected and resourceable, and you have everything at your disposal. So it's like you're gonna have some people that's gonna hate on you for that, and you're gonna have some people that's gonna congratulate you for what you're doing. But you're gonna always have haters, and it's a sad thing because, like, I feel that you shouldn't have to hate just to get ahead. You shouldn't have to cutthroat anybody just to get ahead.
Exactly.
You should just at least be straight up and put it all on the table up front and say, look, this is what I'm trying to do. This is how I want to do it. It's either you're going to accept it or you're going to reject it. One or the other. But, you know, some people just don't get it because some are very complicated and they don't think logic on how to go about doing things as far as business. And, you know, you try to be a fair businessman, but it's just always these, you know, these folks out here with hidden agendas trying to get over and take advantage of what you doing, you know, and you going about it the right way and fair, but they want to go about it their way.
Yeah.
That's not going to work out for you.
No, definitely. Yeah. No, what you said is exactly right. I mean, it's one thing I preach a lot about, the fact that, you know, everybody talks about that theory of trickle-down economics, that if you let the people at the top make money, it trickles down to the lower levels. Well, it doesn't. That's not how it works. But you know what does trickle down? Corruption. That mentality of stabbing people in the back, pushing people over to try and get your way. See, that's learned from the people at the top, because that's what those people did to get where they're at.
Yeah, and what's so cold about it, not to cut you off, my friend, but you know what makes it so cold? See, they always start a lot of BS, and they go behind your back and tell what happened and play the victim role for something that they started.
Yep, exactly.
But make you look like the bad person, the bad guy. When
exactly
whatever you did was out of defense because they was coming at you foul, and all you had to do was let them know, but they took it in the wrong content, and it was a misconception in their mind. But, you know, some people, when they get ignorant like that, sometimes you got to just back away.
Yep, exactly.
Arguing with folks, man, it's just a waste of time, high blood pressure, and a drain of your energy.
Well, my favorite saying about arguing with people is, you know, if you argue with a stupid person, they're just going to drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. So that's why sometimes you just got to walk away.
Pretty much. That's all you can do is just walk away from it and just say, hey, you know, it is what it is. And that's why I say, like, some people just don't get it these days in our society. And that's why it's going to take people like you and me to lay the foundation of a landmark of setting good examples on how to treat people and how to approach people, because some people don't have people skills. Like they have talents, but they just don't have people skills. They only have about like 75% of people skills. You know, like me, I'm a people person, just like you a people person. We, you know,
definitely.
We're all a people person. You know, this is why we do what we do. You know, this is why we do films and music and radio and embrace our talents to where the world would know, and we doing this on a independent scale on our own platform.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah, definitely. Being a people person is a complex thing. You have to understand not only yourself but other people, and that takes skill to understand other people. That's, I think, where it goes. Many people in our society are they're self-centered. They focus on themselves a lot. Like, I've had people get upset with me because the way I promote myself and how I do things, they're like, man, you need to like tell more people about this and that. It's like, but what I do is for passion, not for acknowledgement or fame or money. I'm not looking for that. The word I always use, and I tell people, which the word that means a lot to me, is fulfillment. I want to be fulfilled by what I do. And that's a deeper thing than money or fame or anything else can get you. Is fulfillment, is actually finding something you're passionate about, making it a reality in a career.
Yeah, pretty much.
And doing that and finding true like zen and peace and happiness with what you do.
Real talk right there. I totally agree with you on that note. And you know something, man? I'm gonna have to give you a hand clap on that, bro. I'm gonna have to give you a hand clap on that, because that right there was just man, I had to give you applause here on Ethic Radio, because
thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, you speak some real stuff right here. So what is the game plan for you, Mr. John Pierre?
Well, let's see. My MC name is MC Pierre. That took years to come up with, just because I went through a couple variations of my name when I started. Because I really started freestyle battling and stuff at the beginning to kind of get my name. And I made a name, and I toured and did a bunch of stuff with the music I had at the time. But this year has been a lot of major purchases that I've made for my life to try and move forward. So I upgraded my home studio, because I have a little home studio that I record my music at and all the stuff I do. Bought a few new cameras for the web series, so to get, more versatility and variety with how I'm filming. A couple new pieces of gear for the, paranormal investigating type stuff too.
Right.
So the game plan this year is to really create my own platform to push my music further and get it where I need to go. I have the website, I have a free album, I have the SoundCloud, I have, the social media that I'm blasting my stuff all over the place.
So where can people find you on your social media? Give out your social media outlets, man. What's up, websites, all that. Tell the listeners out there how they can find you.
Definitely. Well, let me give you the major websites first, because obviously those have the most full content about me and what I do. I'll start first with my music, obviously, since we've been playing some of my music tonight. Is www.mcpierre.com. That's www.m, letter M, letter C, Pierre.com. And you can find all my music on there, all that stuff. I have my free album. You have to log in to plunder.com. It's a free thing, though. It doesn't spam you. It's not anything negative. You just got to log in order to download the album, and it's all free. So I definitely want to push that idea to get my music out there to listeners without having to pay a price. Yeah. And then hopefully once, people realize that I have, quality as well as talent, that, they'll pay for the actual studio album that's in the process of coming out. So
that's right, y'all listeners out there. Y'all hear that? Y'all go out there and support Jean Pierre's album for free. Download it on his website. What's the website again?
Class album.
What's the website again?
For working class people at www.mcpierre.com. That's the letter M, the letter C, Pierre.com. And it's a working people's album. Yeah. It's an expression of, us modern day slaves in America working for corporations and being treated like we're a number. It resonates with a lot of people. The people that have heard it really have connected with it, because it's like, man, I know how that feels. No matter where you work and what you do, you tend to connect when, you share those same experiences.
Real talk.
Yeah, and then we have the paranormal stuff. Like I said, I run a nonprofit 501c3 paranormal organization called the Southern California Paranormal Detectives. You can find that at www.paranormaldetectives.org. That's www.paranormaldetectives.org. We have links to our YouTube, The Real Paranormal Detectives web series. We have videos, we have evidence, we have information about the team, who we are, what we do, what we're about, and other evidence that we've got, over the years doing this. I've been doing that for about 16 years. I've been rapping for about 20 years. So
that's what's up. 20 years,
doing that stuff for a while. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, well, you know what? You and I, we in the 30s club, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, we definitely need to work together, man, and work together and collaborate on some of the work that you got going on. And
no, we definitely will. Yeah, it sounds like we're on the same level, so
right.
it
We on
shouldn't
the
be a
same
hard
page.
thing to do to connect.
Right. We on the same page, and we can pretty much learn from each other's skill on how it's done and the process and the structure, because you have your structure game right on point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, it's definitely important for me to be organized when it comes to doing this stuff. So I definitely try to structure things a certain way. Even when I write music, like I write it like I'm writing an essay. I usually do 3 verses, and I try to have a beginning, middle, and end, and I try to end on a certain note and begin on a certain note.
Yeah.
So I definitely try to organize things and structure them a certain way.
Right.
And it goes with everything that I do. So.
Man. Yeah, you on your A game, bruh.
I'm trying.
Well, you're doing a good job at it, which is, man, you on your A game. That's all I can say.
Well, much appreciated. I'm glad you could see that.
Oh yeah, I totally do, man, and the world needs to see that as well. That you're on your A game, and you're out here doing something that you're doing today will reflect tomorrow.
Yeah. Very true, and that's a good point I think you bring up there, and something I strive for, and what I strive for in the future, if I'm ever successful with everything that I do on a major, like mainstream level, is I would like to be a good role model and a good inspiration for people to see things differently than how it's being presented in today's society.
And that's what it's all about, my friend. It's all about doing it in a Hollywood style.
Yeah.
But you're doing it independently on your own.
Exactly.
Where you getting your own distribution, you doing your own film festivals, to where you rent out a building, get a projector with a sound system, and you showcase your independent movies.
Exactly.
You can do your own AMC theaters and Regal theaters. You can do it in your own format. And that's where it boils down to, but some people are afraid or have the fear of doing it on their own like that because they want to depend on the majors to make that happen for them,
Exactly, yeah. Well, not only that, I think people fear, failure probably more than anything else. Yeah. Obviously, that's a big part of it.
In any business, you're going to fail.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get broke. You may make bad investments, but that's your way of learning by taking a risk. Because that's business. We all have to take a risk. And
it's life, too. Not even beyond business. It's life in general.
Yeah. Because, some people are, afraid to take risk.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they want you to do all the work. And then on the end, when it's all said and done, they want to take all the credit for it as if they put all this together, and it ain't even go down like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That was the last big company we worked with on the paranormal type stuff. They seemed like good guys. It seemed like it was going good at first. And when we finally sat down, we put a lot of effort into the episode we shot. They got a distribution deal on an online service.
Right.
But when the episode was done, essentially they cut us out. They came in premeditated and prepared to basically act.
Right.
And we were being ourselves. We were just being true to what we do.
Right.
And they're like, well, that's boring. So we're going to act stupid. And our fan base, because we've established one by what we do, was like, what was that? Like, those guys look like bad actors the way they were doing what they did. Like, and where were you guys? Like, we didn't even get to see you half the time. And it's like, yeah, we basically got cut out of it because they wanted to make it, what everything else is. you're not changing or breaking a mold if you're doing what everybody else does.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's deep right there. That's a deep story right there, man. And
yeah, that's just one.
yeah, I know you got millions of stories about that too, man.
Talk
like
about many things, yeah.
Hey, you know what? We here as long as you want to be on here, man, on Ethic Radio. So it ain't no biggie, because this is like real talk right here, because of the discrepancies behind the scenes. And it's like that in every business, even if you if you're doing film, music, radio, fashion, model, any business that you get into, it's always gonna have some backdoor, shady, cutthroat.
Oh yeah, that's just how it is. It's human nature. Nature.
Yeah, human nature. Because you got some feel that to make money the quick way, they gotta rip people off.
Exactly.
Instead of making money the right way and do what you say that you're gonna do.
Yeah.
When it's money involved. You know, so and
I can give you another good example of what you just talked about.
Break it down. Speak on it.
It's a really good one. So funny enough, there was a couple who was researching nonprofit organizations in my area, and they found my company, obviously, because I run a nonprofit.
Yeah.
They literally couldn't say this about anyone else. They literally called us an actual definition of what a nonprofit is, because we literally make no profits. Like, sometimes we break even.
Yeah.
But we put actually, more than likely, I've lost money doing what I do.
Right.
But I do it as a public service to help people. I'm not here to like make money off trying to help somebody figure out if something crazy is going on in the house or whatever it is.
Right.
Or if the government's, mind controlling them, whatever I may run into with what I do. But I found it very interesting that they were like, we couldn't find like high money numbers for my organization.
Yeah.
They were like, we couldn't find that on him. So he's literally, his organization is the actual definition of a nonprofit, because they go around and help people and they don't make a profit. Because there was a big story that came out a while back about one of the companies, I think it was for cancer research, is a nonprofit. And they were saying they make, I don't know how many billions or millions a year, but like the CEO got so much of the profit, it's something like ridiculous. Like 80% of the profit goes to the company and the CEO, and then 20% goes into research for these diseases and things like that.
Yeah.
And that right there is disgusting, to say the least. Like,
right.
Are you serious? I run a nonprofit that I wouldn't say changes the world or anything, but for the people that I do help, I've seen comfort, relief, and a loss of their distress they had because I help out. And I feel good about that. To me, that's the take home. That's more important than what my wallet has, is that I helped somebody today, and they're going to hopefully have an easier time now because I was able to be there for them. So. Right.
Real talk right there.
Yeah, so what you're saying goes even on a deeper level. Yeah, I think it's very powerful, because to me, if I had an organization that was doing something even more profound, like helping cancer or something big, I would try and put all my effort into helping people. I don't need a giant salary to help people. If I can make a living, if I could pay my rent, my bills, and help people, right there, that's beauty.
That is beauty. I totally agree with you. That is beauty. Because
so as you can tell, I don't have the typical mentality of a rapper.
Right. I mean, you're just a guy that wear a lot of hats.
I like to express myself.
Yeah, you're very multi-talented.
Yeah, there you go. You can say a Renaissance man. I've been called before too, because I do so much.
Right. I mean, for you doing comedy and stuff like that. So what was your experience of doing comedy, man?
It was, I think, once again, go back to my deeper way of thought with the things that I do. To bring a smile and joy to people is a beautiful thing, and I really take comfort in that. So watching comedians growing up, I was raised on a lot of comedy, a lot of classic comedy.
Who were your influences in comedy?
Well, when I was really young, I was raised on like the Marx Brothers, Groucho Marx, my mom Sid. I used to do imitations of them all the time when I was younger. So, I think that's the starting point. I don't remember it that well, but my parents remember it very well. So when I was on good terms with my parents and my family, they always talked about how I used to always imitate what I saw. Like whether it was comedians or Michael Jackson, I knew all his dance moves when I was younger. I knew all the lyrics to, you know, my favorite rappers, all that stuff. I call myself an imitator and regurgitator of what I saw. So that was the start. As an adult, though, and knowing what I know now about the world, people that inspired me were George Carlin. I love the truth he speaks and the way he speaks has definitely inspired my comedy. Bill Hicks. And there's a lot of even other comedians that are very, I would say, political, edgy, and comedic that have influenced me. Because that's the route I like to go. Is really, I like to make fun of things that are real and kind of flip the context of where they're placed and just tell it like it is. So now as an adult and really coming into when you become the person you are, you really figure out things, and that's where I'm at. Where like, yeah, I really like more, and I as well as talking like about corporations and government and the world and all that. I connect all those things with my comedy. Really, the time that I needed it, and we know about the place we work at, so I'll just say that. I won't say much more. But when I was in a different department where I worked at, they wouldn't let me out of there. I don't know why, and I was stuck there and frustrated. So I started writing jokes about it, and that's how I vented. Yeah. And it ended up being some of the best material I ever wrote because it came from a real place and it came from a real experience. Right. And I turned something that's considered very happy and pleasant and bright and colorful, and I flipped it and turned it dark and like twisted the stuff around, and it hit, especially where I live at, and it really connects with the people in my area and my county because they know the place that I work at. Right. So to come out and to twist these very happy things and make it more dark, it worked really well. And like I hit a sweet spot with my jokes, and I just got booked at major clubs and kept performing. So yeah, you kept doing your thing. That's what's exactly up. Yeah, I kept pushing forward, and that helped me develop other areas of my comedy in that form too, so that it all connected really well, and I became a better comedy writer because of it. So right. So yeah, that's part of it. And then of course, like I said, I include my impressions. One of my closing bits is I rap like Mickey Mouse. So and that's on that. Hey, why don't you bust a rap in Mickey Mouse, man? Come on. I'll do that. I'll do that in a second. Do that. Let me just promote the album again, because this is where that's from. Promote the album one more time. Where can you find the record? You can find that on mcpierre.com. That's letter M, the letter C, Pierre.com. And you can get the free album. The free album has this rap on it where I rap like a very famous character. I won't even say it. I'm going to let the listeners just be surprised when I start. So probably surprise you too. So here goes. I'm gonna show you what I did on the album just for a little fun. Imagine this to a Dr. Dre beat, because that's what I did. So it's the number one mouse in the house, and if you have any doubt, I'm on your clothes and your mind and your mouth. And you know what I'm rhyming about, getting dough in the highest amounts. I just get it and bounce. It's from your accounts, so piecing them out. I'm the king, they should give me the crown. I own theme parks, cities, and towns. So you know I ain't playing around when I say that I'm holding it down. Now, I'm the boss, the one that's in charge. I'm living large, women in cars, order cheese at the bar. And when I get frisky, I go look for Minnie and I slip her the Mickey. Biatch. Yeah. You know what? We gonna have to give you a hand clap on that right there. So yeah, that's a little something like that. Oh man, hey, that was dope, man. That was dope right there, man. That was dope. Wrap it in. And that's on the free album, so you download that, you're gonna get some dope classic stuff on there, just like man, that was dope right there. I like that because you know I had to stop the background music right quick, because you know I wanted to see if I can do a beat bot on that boom bat right there on that right there. But that was pretty cool, man. Listeners out there was looking at it like that was pretty cool, and yeah, busting the rap on and Mickey Mouse and stuff like that. Yeah. Hey, guarantee something different, Hey, but I try to always stand out of the box. We hold it down for the D, baby. We work for the D. Yeah. We both work for the D, and we've been holding it down for the D for a very long time, and thanks for holding it down for the D. It really helped us become better entrepreneurs to embrace more in our lives of what
we're doing with this movement of our creativity. Hey man, bust a Mickey Mouse, man. Bust that one more time, dog. One more time, man. Come on, do that one more time, man.
You want me to do just the same one, or you want me to just play with it, or what would you like?
Play with it. Do another one. Do another one.
Huh? Well, I don't even know today. I guess you could say that the people that work for me are slaves, huh? That's right. Huh? Put the chains on. That's right, I'm crazy. Mickey had his brains gone. He's not even know what he's saying, huh? Even though I'm childlike, I'm not playing. I'm telling the truth, huh? You know, I spit heat when I get in the booth. They didn't even know that I do that type of stuff, huh? If you're not excited, that means you're not hype enough. That's the way I do it when I bust on the mic. Yeah, that's right, huh? You know what I like. I come through sunshine, happiness, huh? But nobody else could rap like this. Even Donald Duck thinks he's #1. But I'm going to do this right now, huh? I'm not even done. I'll continue. I spit the sickest raps. Huh? And when I'm done, this guy will give me claps, daps, and all that. There you go. That was a dope rap.
All right, there you go. Just a little freestyle off the top.
Freestyle off the top. Working for the D, baby. For the D.
Yeah.
For the D, baby. Right here on Ethic Radio. Clowning around Ethic Radio After Dark.
You get a little bit of my comedy since we got so deep. We got to switch it, you know.
Yeah, man, we got to be funny here because we're here live on the air on Ethic Radio, man. Like, real talk, you know, sponsored by Disability Awareness Experts. Shout out to Dan Jamal Cooper right here on Ethic Radio, our sponsor here. So we got to give a shout out to our sponsor.
I'm going to shout out my sponsor, too. Shout out to Memory Tag for sponsoring my web series. They're awesome. Uriah Faber, the UFC fighter, owns that company. And, he's the one who helped us out. So much appreciated.
That's what's up. Much appreciated. Yeah, man. So, like I said, dog, what's the future for you, Mr. John Pierre?
Yeah, well, right now, the game plan, I'm setting up a lot of projects right now. Like I said, I upgraded my home studio. I got new Pro Tools. I got new gear. I got everything I want to set up in order to, move forward this year. So I got potentially offered a distribution deal. I have some of my industry people looking at it to make sure it's good.
So what's the distribution deal you working with?
Essentially, it's for a lot of things. I know that they can do some potential Netflix and maybe Hulu stuff with my web series.
That's what's
But
poppin'.
initially, it's for my music. I send them some of my music and show them what I could do.
So they doing music and film content as well, too?
Yeah, they do a few things. They're independent, though, and they don't really do a lot of promotion. So
right.
more of that's on
It's like you got to do the ground level of it. Hey,
you got to do the groundwork, exactly.
You know what? After we get off the air, man, we're going to have to, you know what I'm saying, have to... chop it up.
Exactly.
Talk some business and stuff. But yeah, man, that's pretty cool, man. That you got a distribution deal where you can get Hulu jumping off Netflix and
and get my music out there
and
more
your music
too,
out there
take that
and
to the next level.
You pretty much can do a variety of everything, man. You and I are on the same page, on the same level, and on the same boat. Because I got distribution with film and distribution with music and all. But it's always good to find the best deal possible to where you're making a living with your work and collecting that revenue. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, that's pretty cool, man. It's really pretty cool. I like.
Yeah, so that's one of the game plans. The other one is, like I said, I started doing videography for Henji and Ice-T and those people. Like I said, they're really excited about the Italian rap. So my main project right now is to work on a lot of Italian rap songs and get it to them because they have contacts, with major people. And they say, they're like, Pierre, you're a dope rapper. You definitely got skills. But if you want to compete in this market where it's a lot of garbage rap, you can't even understand what half the dudes are saying anyway. If you come out speaking Italian, no one can step to you. You're going to be able to have your own little market and do your thing. So
it'd be like pretty much focus. The Italian market, but you also want to get both of the markets to where you can have a variety of a market, even though you're rapping in English or you're rapping in Italian,
Yeah, and I plan on doing both. And one of the ideas I'm kind of playing with right now, which I'm going to do eventually, I was thinking of to really flip it on them, do 2 versions of the song, do the Italian version, translate it, do the English version. So that way, bam, right there, you have instant, connection with both of your audiences. So
Right.
That's another, idea I'm playing with as well. that I'm going to work on. So that's kind of the major game plan right now. I'm working on the latest episode of our web series. So we have to do one more shoot. We have some footage I got to get. And once we're done with that, I'm going to start editing, putting it together, and release it on YouTube called The Real Paranormal Detectives. We have a bunch of episodes up already. So
yeah. And tell the listeners where they can subscribe on your YouTube. What's the YouTube channel?
It's called The Real Paranormal Detectives. So just look up The Real Paranormal Detectives, and you'll find our web series. We're already up there. We have thousands of hits. We're getting new subscribers every week because we've done a lot of interesting stuff that other paranormal shows haven't done yet. So, yeah, we're definitely starting out on a different foot and trying to expand and do something different. So, and like I said, if there's people that are fans or interested, go check it out. Contact us directly. We put our info on the web series. If you want to be a witness, just like you said you wanted to be, anybody else who's listening, contact us. We'll put you on the list. When we have the availability, we bring you on. You can come out and be part of a real paranormal team investigating, crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Hey, we got to brainstorm on an investigation on something, man. Like, real talk. Yeah. We gonna talk about that after we get out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we definitely will.
Yeah, because that right there, man. Hey, like I said, I want to do a movie on that too. Like for real, I do.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I've consulted for TV shows and stuff, so you have a knowledge base right here.
Yeah, because I want to do a movie, man. Definitely something like Paranormal Activity kind of a format, So
definitely
that'd be cool.
Yeah, so definitely we'll do that. So yeah, that's pretty much the game plan right now. I started seriously and vigorously now DJing on the side. So
okay, how's that going along?
DJ, it's going well, man. I'm booking more weddings. I mostly do weddings, but I mean, I got a nice setup. So other events, parties. I also do announcing and kind of emceeing hosts for events.
Oh, okay.
So I do that as well.
So tell the listeners out there how they can find you if they need a DJ or if they need an MC host. Where can they find you? There's an email, Facebook, or?
Yeah, I mean, you can check out Facebook. I have a business page on there. DJPG is the name of my DJ name. So that's what I used when I used to work at a radio station and DJ too. That was my DJ name. So, you can find me through that. The websites I already told you about, mcpierre.com, has my email and contact info. So there's plenty of ways for you to get a hold of me. Just check out some of the sites. All of my stuff's interconnected. So if you go to one, you'll find the other ones.
Right. So all the social medias are like pretty much are fully connected on the website.
They are, yeah. You through my MC page, you get to my Facebook, to my Tumblr, to my Twitter, to all my stuff. It's all interconnected, so yeah, we're all right there.
All over, all around, all the way.
Yeah, the new digital age, so I definitely got on it.
So how do you feel about the digital age? Remember when it was all analog?
Yeah.
Now it's become digital now. So what is your intake on that?
It's most things are double-edged swords, and I think the digital age is that. There are amazing things about it. The access is so much better to everything, and it's easier to build your own home studio. It's easier to do the type of stuff that we do on a smaller scale and with a lower budget, which is great.
And it's a lot of people out there that don't even know that or don't even have the digital knowledge to know that they can have everything at their disposal, as long as they have a computer and or an iPhone or a cell phone with a technology gadget to where you can do your own thing. But there's with some people are still used to the old business model of the analog.
Yeah.
And some are not up to date with technology in the digital world.
Oh yeah, very true. And it tends to be some of the older people. I definitely say the younger generation has full grasp of it. So, but some of the older generation definitely like to, they get stuck in their ways and they don't want to change. But back to the being a double-edged sword. So all the positive stuff is kind of what I mentioned. The ease of access, the accessibility, all that stuff is amazing. The downside to it is everybody and anybody can just put whatever out there. Yeah. And it's sad that you see stupid stuff getting more attention than I think
that's going
more
viral
actual
every
good
single
stuff.
day.
Yes.
And the good stuff that we put into, like, with our hard work of editing and making our films look all like, Hollywood and professional.
Yeah.
These cats out here going on their phone doing some stupid stuff, knocking somebody's teeth out their mouth, and it just goes viral. What's up with that?
Yeah, see, and it's indicative of, again, what the mass media produces and puts out there. And it creates that mentality. It creates stupid people who don't like... There's young people that are around my age, maybe a little younger, and it's happened before and still happens. Like, I read books. I have books. I like reading. I like increasing my knowledge and vocabulary, especially as an MC and a rapper. You want to be on top of it.
Right.
But there's people that walk by when I'm reading a book, like, you're reading that big book? And I'm like, yeah, and I speak big words too, and I think for myself. It's kind of nice. You should try it sometime, because most people don't. We're passive. We like to sit down and let things be brought to us or shown to us or said to us.
Yeah.
And we don't take the time to really go deep and look at it.
Exactly. And one thing that we have learned working for the D is that you have to pick and choose your words wisely.
Exactly.
And that's the main key for you in order to get further in life. And I say this again: pick and choose your words wisely.
Very true.
Yep.
So yeah, but it's funny that, like you said, somebody could do something stupid, knock somebody out, punch teeth out, just do whatever and get famous. And it's like, there's people that I know, and I'm not even going to talk about myself because, like I said, I think that's egotistical.
Yeah.
But there's talented people that I know that should be, I don't want to say famous because that's not, I think, what most people want.
Right.
That want to do something they're passionate about, that want to be fulfilled with their lives or careers, that I think should be over many of the people that are making millions of dollars off of creating more ignorance for our society and our youth. But hey, you want to be at the club drinking, you want to be doing this. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't do that.
Right.
I had my early 20s and my college years where it was me and my boys, and we like to go out sometimes and chill. And
I was there. I did that too. We all did that.
But
we've been there and done that.
I grew up very quick. Yeah. I said, you know what? If I take the money I'm wasting right here and I put it to the side, I can build my own home studio. I could buy some nice studio speakers, some monitors.
Yeah.
I could buy a nice microphone. I could do this. I could put money and buy paranormal gear and cameras. So, like, that's what my mentality changed to, and I've never changed that. Like, I'm not like that. I want to work. I'm always working towards something.
Right.
Well, I watch everyone else party and have fun. I mean, it's cool. I wish I had the ability to do that and take a break, but I believe if I even sleep one day, then I'm not going to make it. I need to make sure every day I'm on it, or else, somebody who's on it more than I am is going to make it ahead of me.
And take your spot.
Let that happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like you got to do it better, despite the fact that the process is so complex, because it's not easy. Because if it was easy, everybody could do it.
Exactly.
So, like, just working with certain people, and you at a certain level to where you know how to do it simple, and it gets done in a professional way without any complex coming into play.
Yeah.
And some people are very complex because they're so used to doing things the old way.
Yeah.
And there's some that's doing it, where it's just like it's all unorganized.
Yeah.
Without any planning or any structure. So, and I see that every day.
It's like you said, going towards, I mean, I think it was about 26 when I turned 26 that I really got deep about life and really started thinking about a lot of things. And I realized that everybody that was with me on my path was gone.
Right.
Like, nobody stuck with the plan. Like, nobody, my buddy wanted to be a DJ. I'm the one that ended up being a DJ. Other buddies were there and wanted to do this and that with me. And then I told my wife it was like climbing Mount Everest with everybody. And you're climbing, and all of a sudden you look to your side and below you, and everybody's gone. they either made a little camp on the side of the mountain, or they went back down because they said, "Oh, this is too hard. I don't want to do it."
Right.
And
right.
then you end up by yourself on this path, like, all right, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, but you know, in the end, like I can say at least I'm still trying to pursue what makes me happy and what I'm passionate about. Because most people have settled.
Yeah.
They have a wife, they have kids, they have like a steady career. But you know what?
They can't maintain their career because
they're not happy.
Yeah,
like,
and
they're not happy at all.
Right, because they can't maintain their careers because of the distractions, and with them being a full-time parent and at the same time they're trying to have a career, it's hard for them. And it's like, and it's sad when you're doing business with people that are like a family member to you, like a best friend to you, and you try to like look out for them and be there for them, but it's just like they just have so much on their plate to where it's a lot of goals and a lot of things that they want to do, but it's that distraction that gets in the way of them trying to accomplish the things that they need to accomplish.
Oh yeah.
And after a while, people get tired of being too understanding about it, because distractions, it destroys friendships. It destroys a lot of situations in life to where it's a lot of mistakes that you're making that you don't even know that you're making it, because you're so distracted and caught up with all these other obstacles that are in your way. You know?
Oh yeah. And then eventually, and what I've seen with a lot of people, like they completely give up and they fall into the little hole that they made for themselves, and they stay there and they can't do anything else.
It's like they dug a ditch for themselves and slipped and fell into it. Now they want you to reach out and pull them out of the ditch. After they dug a hole for themselves.
And not even that. It's sad because at some point they don't even want you to dig them out at all. Like they're cool, they're there and they're stuck there. They know they're stuck there and they can't do anything about it.
They're just comfortable with the way they live their lives.
But like I said, comfort doesn't equal happiness. Like I said, these people that I'm describing are some people from my life. I can tell they're not happy because like I'm here still pursuing my dreams. I don't have anything stopping me, and I'm not gonna stop. Even if I were to have a kid, I think it would be more inspirational to my child to see that their parent is persistent and going after things they want, than to be complacent and have your child become what you were. Why would you want that for your child? Wouldn't you want better? Wouldn't you want them to be happy and fulfilled and excited about what could happen in life, rather than, well, I'm going to go to school, go to college, get a job, have kids, have a house, have a car, that's it, and then repeat. Like, nah.
Repeat the same cycle over and over again. So how did you overcome your situations with the surroundings of these kind of people? How did you overcome it?
I wouldn't even say I overcame it, to be honest. I'm a very strong-willed individual. I know what I want and I go after it. I've always been that way. Even now I'm very more vocal about that. I used to be extremely shy when I was younger, because being Italian and having a different culture, I grew up in a Latino area in Long Beach, in that area I grew up in, and I was very good up until like the middle of elementary, when everybody noticed I was different, and different hair color, different way to dress, the way my parents dressed me, all that. You become an outcast, and I became an introvert somewhat. And then later I opened up again. But I've always been very confident in the person I am and what I wanted to accomplish, and I didn't let anybody stop me. When my parents said, what do you want to do when you graduate? I'm like, well, I want to be a comedian, and I want to be a rapper, and I want to be an entertainer, and I want to do things that other people don't do with my life. Like, that's my dream. And even they didn't really support it. Like, we should worry about getting a job and having security. And I'm like, but why? I've seen miserable people have that.
When you can create a job for yourself.
Exactly.
And start a business for yourself and create opportunities for, like, let's say when you have children and you're building your foundation for many generations to come.
Exactly.
Like, your children will run it and take over. You set the example, the landmark, and the history of what you accomplished,
Yeah.
and what you strive for, and the sacrifice.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, and everybody should live by this, is about believing in yourself. Somebody at the D recently that I saw that I haven't seen in a while, I told him what I was doing with my life and all the new opportunities that presented themselves. And he said, you know why you are who you are and why you're going to make it? Because you believe in yourself more than anything and anyone I've ever met. The thing is, you believe in yourself, and that's what you need. Most people don't believe in themselves.
Right.
And that's what it is. They give up because they don't believe in themselves.
Because they're too comfortable.
I believe not only that I have talent and a good nature and I'm a good person, but you know, I have the ability to keep going, to go after it, and believe that I have value enough.
Right.
And I matter enough to myself that I can achieve my goals.
Right.
And that's what people lack, I think, most of the time. People most of the time, and I'm gonna say this is true for most of humankind, and they misconstrue what it is, but people value themselves based on how others value them.
Right.
You know, they look for people to validate them. And I've never been that person. I've been the person that says, I'm me. You don't like me? F you. Get out of my way. You don't need to. You know, we all have choices to make. You can make a choice. You can be, like we talked about earlier, you can be a hater, or you can, you know, do your own thing and worry about yourself too.
Right.
And it's that mentality that I have. I don't need validation. I don't need acceptance. The older I've gotten, the less I've cared about what other people think of me.
Right.
Even when it comes to my music or anything else, there's people like, you know, even the people like A.C.Ceenno and them who told me to rap in Italian. I get it and I can do it, but it's not going to stop me from rapping in English because there's certain things I can portray in this language that I think are important too.
Right, right.
So I don't want to completely give up that part of me because I think it's a big part of me. So it's about still valuing yourself, you know, and saying I'm worth something. Even if nobody else thinks I'm worth something, I'm worth something to myself.
That's right.
And that gets you through everything.
Yeah.
Because you don't need someone else. Because when you look for that validation or that acceptance from someone else and that acknowledgement,
right,
they control you at that point. They tell you you're worthless. You believe them because you're relying on them to tell you who you are.
Yeah.
When you know who you are, you don't have to rely on anybody. You go, whatever, I'm the shit because I think I am.
Right. Because it's their way of trying to manipulate you by dictating of who you are when you know who you are.
Exactly. There you go.
And some people just don't get it.
Yeah, definitely not. No, people are, they don't get it. I think they misconstrue the search for love or companionship for that validation and that acknowledgement and acceptance. And that's not how love is either. True love, and the definition of love is unconditional. There is no conditions or terms to it. It exists, and it lets you be who you want to be, and it's an amazing thing.
Right.
Like the fact that I'm married and I have a wife, that's, even though, you know, I still believe in my dreams and goals and everything, that's an accomplishment when I was younger and I was really pursuing this,
right,
that I thought I would never have, because I said, what if I make it? Then who can you trust? Like, people are going to be after you because of your status, because of your money, because of whatever it is that you have.
Right.
And my wife is the most important thing in my life to me. She's been there. Well, I slept in a car for a year of my life. She still stayed with me.
Right.
You know, she went through what I went through with me. And like, man, to have that support too, that's another part of my pillar and my belief and my, you know, my persistence and strength is that she's there for me. And she's not a big fan of entertainment. She doesn't want to be on TV if we do the paranormal stuff.
Yeah, I can relate.
She doesn't want to be involved.
Yeah, she just want to be somebody that's behind the scenes, that's supporting you,
exactly,
that's encouraging you, that's saying, okay, well, you should do it this way and do it that way.
Yeah.
And she's just pretty much in the cut, just steering you and guiding you in the right direction. And for you to have a woman like that that's on your team and that's on your corner, that's something to value the utmost.
Oh yeah, it's the top of my list. Definitely, yeah. No, it's a beautiful thing to have because not everybody has that.
Yeah.
Not everybody has a wife that'll say, man, you know, I believe in you. Keep doing it. Keep going.
Right.
Like,
and
don't
you have
stop.
to cherish it because it's always good to have people that believe in you and believe in what you're doing.
Yep.
And guiding you at the same time, and at the same time willing to offer whatever you need to get things done and to handle it.
Yep.
So, and one thing my father always told me is always count your blessings. Always appreciate what you have in front of you. And always value the things that you need in life will come as long as you manifest on it and you believe in it and you see it and you act on it. It will take its own course as long as you believe in yourself and believe that you know that you can do it, or you tell yourself every day when you wake up in the morning that today is going to be a good day.
Yeah.
And you know that the universe is going to make a way.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I live by that every day. That's something I always tell myself. You know, I'm a very spiritual guy, but I always keep my eye on the prize and value the people that I work with to make this history, to make this all happen.
Yeah.
And it's very beautiful, man, to work with versatile people that are doing great things, you know?
Oh yeah, of course, definitely, yeah, and that's what I'm learning more and more. Like I said, as an adult, even though college didn't really teach me that, and education and other people. But yeah, that's what I've learned myself now as an adult. Like, it's about connecting with the right people and making moves with those people, because when you have people that are on the same level, you connect and you work in the right direction to get to actual goals that you want. So.
Right. Well, look, man, this was a deep conversation here for an hour and a half. And you know something? We're going to wrap this up right here.
Definitely.
And, man, it was really, really, really good to have you on here on Ethic Radio.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
I gotta give you applause, man. I'll give you applause right there.
Much appreciated.
Applause to you, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Hopefully the listeners enjoy what we talked about. We got pretty deep most of the time.
Because we talked about a lot of great stuff here on Ethic Radio. And to you listeners out there, if you missed the show, you could tune in on my reel, because I know some of you online or some of you may have missed the show. But you can go on to the website at ethicrecordfilms.com/ethic-radio. You can tune in, or you can go to my Facebook and follow the group page and join us at Ethic Record Films and Ethic Radio fan page on Facebook. And you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm all over the place. You know what I mean? Hey, yo, Pierre, tell the listeners out there where they can follow you.
All right, guys. Yeah, check me out. I call myself Talented Ed, so that's an easy way to find me on Twitter and all that, because I do so many things. I decided talented wasn't a word enough to describe me. So Talented Ed, so with the extra ED after the talented part. On Twitter, you can find me there, www.mcpierre.com, letter M, the letter C, Pierre.com, and www.paranormaldetectives.org. And you can find out all about me, and they're all interconnected, so you can definitely connect with me on there. Check out my stuff.
Yeah, so y'all check out Jean-Pierre, and tell Jean-Pierre that Ethic Radio sent you. That way he know you guys been tuning in on the air here. So yeah, we about to close out right now. I'm your host with the most, A.C.Ceenno, and you're listening and tuning into Ethic Radio, broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California. And much love to you all. Much love to you listeners. We about to close out here with this song called Each Day right here on Ethic Radio. And peace out, y'all. We out of here.
Few that understand, even fewer with the facts. The odds seem stacked, but the system has cracks. We all gotta act on the government corruption, police brutality, the lack of injunctions is how it all functions. There's no compunction for all the dirty deeds. They keep us on our knees for the lies we believe. I've seen people bleed for the power and the greed. They live by no creed, laughing to the bank while there's others in need. Cause it happens every day. I see is pain. People working strain, but there's very little gain. Man, this shit's insane. How do I explain? It's just a big game and we're all getting played. Our problems still remain, but we just place the blame. Let's sit there and complain, expecting things to change. Our leaders just feign for attention and to fame, never coming through on the things that they claim. Same old story, but a different title chapter. Getting treated poorly by our rich entitled masters, placing categories by these racist greedy bastards. See, they're all corrupt and their system's a disaster. All this propaganda by the major broadcasters got me feeling jaded, so depression hits faster. Got a lot of questions, but I never get an answer. Feels like it's spreading, man, it's just as bad as cancer.
You're listening and tuning into Ethic Radio. Broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California.
Feels like it's getting worse. I still remember when I had opened my eyes and realized everyone was telling me lies. The government, religion, my family, why? They all wanted one thing, control of my life. I don't think that one thing they told me was right, and each hand they reached out was holding a knife. The next move for them was to shove it inside. I'm hurt, but the blades never severed my spine. I work every day and I bleed and I cry. I fight through the pain, still believe I could fly. The knowledge I've gained gives me reason to try. The fact I can feel lets me know I'm alive, and what you can hear lets you know I survived. I wipe off the tears and continue to strive. Control starts with fear, I will never comply, and keep on caring till the day that I die.
Listeners all over the world, tune in to Ethic Radio every Fridays at 2 p.m. You can also tune in to Ethic Radio Afterdark every Fridays at 11 p.m. and weekdays at 11 p.m. You're listening and tuning into Ethic Radio, broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California.